In this video, we carry on with our summer 2024 theme. We are celebrating the sun as we travel along the Trent and Mersey Canal. And it feels nice to be here all. Well, not quite literally all. We meet up and trade with old friends and old acquaintances that we thought we'd left behind, but really, in the boating community, you never leave anyone behind. And as the sun continues to shine, we appreciate the infrastructure that is bathing in that sunlight. As we drop into another inland waterport, we stay here overnight as we revisit Sawley, my home for over 20 years, sample the cuisine. We pay our respects down in here at Trent Junction, the River Saw, the River Trent and the Narrowboat Canal as we continue on with our summer sun odyssey. Come and take a look. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to part 2 of the first days of summer in May 2024. And to those of you returning and the 68% of you that haven't subscribed yet, please consider, if I've earned it of course, hitting the like button, sharing this video, hitting the bell for notifications and subscribing. It really does help the channel grow and helps to improve the weather apparently. Now we're going to start the video where we left at the last one, here at Shardlow Basin. And with the jet stream sitting low under the country right now, means that our weather is subject to change at any moment. But with that being said, the theme of this video is the summer sun. And as we've enjoyed a tremendous first week here in May, that's the way we're going to go. And for those of you watching that made the last video an absolute success, please don't swipe away, because now it's time for a title sequence. Welcome back everyone to a channel dedicated to the gentle life. I live on board with Levi and Diesel, my dogs, and not forgetting of course my beautiful wife, living on board as we have now for almost 9 years on our 58-foot Heron, manufactured in Uddersfield in 2001. Here we are, Derwent Lock, lock number 1, Trent and Mersey Canal. Now we're going on to the River Trent. And my friend behind me, it's his first time on this stretch. Now there are those of us who believe that our country is an absolute oasis when the weather is like this, and you'd be foolish to think otherwise. Absolutely foolish. Man-made. The canals blend in to their surroundings as if they've always been here. Derwent Lock number 1 is the first of 6 locks, 6 wide locks at the start of the Trent and Mersey Canal, and navigation. The wider boats obviously carried cargo from the Trent, which is just here as we open up the mouth of this formidable lock. A little bit of assistance. All the lock gear has been normalised, we're just waiting to go out, close the gate, say goodbye to the Trent and Mersey Canal temporarily of course, as we go down onto the rivers. I've just left it running so I can hear the banter. And to my overseas viewers, that's idle talk. And please resist the urge of scrolling away. This is the bit I love the most, coming out of the lock really slow and taking my time. Some of the lock components, the paddles, the balance beams are a bit unbalanced, shall we say. Some locks are easier to manipulate than others, and some lock gear can be quite tough. But that being said, you probably heard there, and I'm going to leave it in, the voices cascading around the lock chamber just makes it all the more fun and interesting, and it's just part of the life, you know. We're just having a laugh, and without realising it, you know, it is what it is. About that oasis, Coming down now to the Derwent and to the River Trent, where everything intersects. Everything is so still and so quiet. Birdsong is more evident as a result. Some noises do carry, but the noises that are carrying are noises that are welcoming to the ear, as they should be. And on days like these, I imagine what it must have been like all those years ago, when boats were horse-drawn or propelled by other means. This was truly the life. And for me, coming down onto the rivers, bringing someone down to the river, to this section that's never been on this section before, makes it all the more satisfying. Welcome to the River Trent, to the Derwent mouth, to the beginning of the Trent and Mersey Canal in all its glory. And seeing that it is somebody's birthday, and quite an important one. Kev's a Chad! It means he's absolutely loving it. And what was that about calmness and serenity in the din of the M1 motorway, which probably wouldn't have been there, and it wasn't there 200 years ago. It's important that when you bring somebody into you expose them to a new experience. You do it in style, particularly when they're celebrating an important date in their lives. Hey, what are friends for? Well, here we are on the run down to the first lock into the navigation at Sawley Cut, and there's an explanation as to why the lock gates are open, and I'll give you that explanation a little bit later in the video. Sawley Cut, originally designed as a bypass to the Trent for its particular eddies and curves. It's a bit rattle and hum, but you know, it's to be expected. But I'm back on my old stomping ground, down here at Sawley. We've got Radcliffe Power Station in the distance. It's going to close in September. I'm surprised to hear. Can't understand why we're closing power stations while the rest of the world, well, are opening them, but never mind. Anyway, here we are, back down at Sawley Cut. Well, this probably won't surprise you, but I absolutely love being out on the cut. And although I have the best of both worlds, both as a floater and as a boater, when I lived down here at Sawley Cut, I was always actually on the cut itself, between the Trent and the marina, for this reason. As the light falls in summer, as it inevitably does, it just takes that little bit longer. Wow. And the next day, with that jet stream sitting quite low under the country at the moment, precipitation seems inevitable, but today, another sunken boat there. It's been there from around 2019. We go down to Sawley Lock, the electric locks, and what do we find? Abandoned facilities, the micro pub, apparently abandoned. Prior to the virus of unspecified origin, this place was rammed, it was buzzing, it was so busy. But unfortunately it's now closed. I was hoping to bring my friend down here for a drink and amuse, sitting at the side of the canal watching the boats go through.
Right.
But things seem very dilapidated and run down. It's quite sad, really. Sawley Lock. The Sawley Cut was built in the late 18th century to allow boats past the weir on the River Trent. And I'm still getting distracted by the fact that the micro pub and the canal side cafeteria is actually closed. So let's just get on with the rest of the video. The sun is out, you can see it up there. It's starting to warm up and the temperatures are firming up. Looks like it's going to be another great day. But the detritus down here, it isn't me, is it? Sawley Lock then, at the end of the cut towards Trent Lock, is in constant use to allow boats to move from the downstream lower part to the upstream higher part. For a while, in the late 1800s, it was known as Cohen's Lock, from the name of the lockkeeper Thomas Cohen. The previous lock is a flood lock, and it's generally left open, but can be brought into action if the river level is unusually high, and I've been here when it's been unusually high. Going back to 2020 when I was moored here, I remember getting a phone call, and I was actually working in a place called Isham in Northamptonshire, so some miles away. And with water levels rising, even though it was a 70-mile journey back, well, even after that photograph, water was still rising, but it was through grace and good fortune that we were able to get things sorted. Although called Sawley Lock, the area is south of the Trent and thus in Hemmington Parish, Leicestershire. In 1962, the Davison brothers bought land next to Sawley Cut and built a slipway and some buildings. The expanding business became established as a leading marina after the chandlery shop was opened, followed by fuel pumps and a restaurant. Now known as perhaps the largest marina in Europe, from the mid-1980s the marina expanded into the old gravel workings. Around the year 1999 the marina was sold to British Waterways. It can now hold up to 400 boats at a time. So to cut a long story short, pardon the pun there, cut, there is, as there is in many places on the Trent and Mersey Canal, down at Sawley, on the Trent, around the Erewash and on the entire system, a rich history that we can all appreciate. Now Sawley Cut seems a lot more busier and busier these days, and I'm not really sure if that's a good or a bad thing. But there is one thing that I've noticed, and I think it's really good, and I think I saw it in another video. The inland waterway businesses and boats owners are coming together to help the newly established Forces Vets Afloat project restore a boat so it can be used and enjoyed by British Forces veterans. And these are just some of the project boats that can be seen down on Sawley Cut and are currently being worked upon. I think that's a fantastic initiative and really does help to establish homes for the homeless and for those people that may have just been forgotten or simply forgotten about. I hope it works out. It looks really exciting, really interesting, and although there are no people working on these today, I'm sure at some stage, just because this is the weekend, that there probably will be. So, but I'll leave a link in the description down below if anybody's interested and anybody wants to look into it. And I was just able to squeeze in at the top here, just by the main road, near the flood lock that I mentioned earlier in the video. I think we're looking quite shiny. What do you think? Leave a comment. It'd be nice if you did. So after the walk, it's time to fill up the water tank from that leaky tap. CRT need to get that sorted out. And there's our Levi Lock chilling. And the three of us have just enjoyed some local cuisine. And only 2 minutes walk from where we're moored, a Spanish restaurant and a public house. Nice. It's nice to be back down at Trent Junction and Cranfleet up that way, look, the yacht club. Over there the River Saw, look, the power station, the River Trent, and just up from the boats, the allotments. And just look at this, as everything goes into bloom in early May. The canal, the river, everything just looks utterly fantastic. There you go, look at that. And just beyond the tree line is the golf course, and you can buy sundries and plants and vegetables. And so to AJ's and get some fenders. Well, that was 2 hours well spent, and I've walked away 200 quid lighter and worth every penny. Link in the description for AJ fenders. Trent Lock is a place to pause and enjoy the view no matter how busy your day. 200 years ago today, and tomorrow too. And it's where 4 waterways meet. A major waterway junction. 200 years ago, it was busy with working boats plying their trade. Today, it's a popular spot to ride your bike, to go for a run, or take a short walk. If relaxation is the order of the day, simply stand and watch the world go by before enjoying some waterside refreshments, of which there are plentiful. Besides the boating club, with 3 rivers and 4 canals meeting close by, Trent Lock forms a busy junction for many water activities. The junction connects with Long Eaton, Langley Mill, Shardlow, Nottingham and beyond. To join the Erewash Valley Trail, either follow the Erewash Canal towpath northward in front of the Steamboat pub, or follow the path alongside the Trent downstream towards Cranfleet Lock, just around the corner. Now, there are many information boards dotted around the junction. Here's just one example. You can actually pause this and read it. I generally photograph or screenshot from videos that I've taken. It's absolutely fantastic and invaluable when I'm editing my videos together. And if you're looking for solutions for your boat, like boat blacking and maintenance, there's the maintenance sheds here just on the junction, and some 400 metres along the Erewash Canal just beyond the lock itself is Mills Dockyard, and again I'll drop links in the description down below. With plenty of information on the site, good car parking, plenty of facilities and places for refreshments, where can you go wrong? Got Red Hill down there, look. Red Hill Tunnel. That's where the canal goes under the Midland Main Line. Why them trains going slow? The last time I reacted like that was at work, and there was a signalling fault which was slowing the whole network down, but that's another story. Ooh, look at that, bit of a breach going on there. Yeah, we have seen a bit of erosion due to flooding, of which we've had absolutely loads of. Kevin's absolutely loving it here. He loves it on the river. This is his first experience down here, and he's absolutely loved every single minute of it. Look at us. Brilliant. This has been a fantastic time out, and we're quite lucky to get this week in May. Quite fortuitous by the fact that the weather just went completely downhill, and for the rest of May the weather was absolutely atrocious. Well, we're heading back up to Sawley Electric Locks to the high level, and back through Sawley Cut, seen previously in the video, out through the stop lock, back up to the Derwent mouth. Blow the horn.
That's louder than most horns.
Yeah. We'll see you again. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't expecting to see them. They were telling us about the recent flooding down there and how they combated it. Fantastic couple. We must have spent 2 hours in there, bought a couple of fenders, and then saw a mate of ours that we've not seen for about a year, Conrad and his wife Pam. Absolutely fantastic couple. He does some volunteer work at the local hospital now, but it was just so cool to spend time, you know, just talking about things, river and canal things, you know. But those of you that are regulars to my channel will know that I don't like to feature people in the video unless I've got their absolute permission. I just don't feel comfortable with it. Anyway, back through the stop lock as previously mentioned, and up to the Derwent mouth. We're heading back up and it's drawing a close to yet another fantastic video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed putting it together. Sadly, some bits were missing. As I've given mention to flooding in this video, and there's a tremendous amount of it around here at Sawley and the River Trent, I did fail to point out in the last video when I went by it, there's an absolute brand new bridge down at Shardlow. You'll see it now. There it is, look, that's Millennium Bridge. That's a replacement bridge for when the one in the foreground was washed away back in 1999. Built as it was to carry pedestrians. Wow, it's one thing being away for a couple of weeks abroad and experiencing absolutely horrible weather, but coming back, and in conclusion to this part, the second part in this series, that sunset was absolutely something else, as I explain. We've just been treated to the most spectacular sunset. I've been to the Maldives. I was there for 2 weeks almost, and didn't get a sunset anywhere near as good as that. The atmospheric conditions were perfect. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you did this with your favourite narrowboating channel, I'm sure they'd appreciate it just as much as your favourite YouTube channel. If you're enjoying this series, part 2 in my trilogy of the first days of summer 2024, please consider liking this video, sharing this video out there, hitting the bell for notifications when the videos drop on the channel, and if I've earned it, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much for watching this one. I'll see you all again in my next video, or any of the videos down below. Take care. Have a great rest of your summer.